this is Sandy. Welcome to my channel. This project is another Country Craft Creations design team project, and this time I'm going to be using Love is in the Air, which is exclusive to Country Craft Creations paper collection. It is gorgeous. Look at these colors and the vintage images. Don't you just love that? I'm going to do a remake of a project that I've designed for Country Craft Creation, and I do have a tutorial for it, but I looked at the video and felt like I needed to tweak it and redo it with a different paper collection. Some of it I noticed my camera setup, I was dropped off the screen, so I just think I want to do a new video of the same project but with different papers. Now this collection comes with 20 sheets, so you get 2 sheets of the tags, 2 sheets of the cut aparts, and then 2 sheets of each patterned paper design. So this is a little bit smaller collection, but it's going to be plenty for this project that we're going to do. And let me show you the one I originally had. This is the one I did originally in a Graphic 45's paper collection. I called it then a little scrap book because it was made from scraps from a bigger project. But this one I'm going to be starting with the full collection. And it's not exactly a junk journal because there's no junk in it, like there's no leftover papers or copy paper or ephemera that you've saved, like from old envelopes or old pictures or anything like that. It's all made from the collection. Now you could add some of the more junk journal type things, but you know, this would be a great project for those of you who kind of are interested in junk journaling, but you're a little hesitant. You really don't know the purpose of this. But this one here has places for photos, but it does have a junk journal type vibe. But it's made different. It doesn't have any stitching, so it's really easy to make. So let's jump into it and grab our tools. You're going to need your bone folder, possibly, definitely your scoreboard. I don't know why I said possibly, but definitely, and your trimmer. And we're going to get started on this. Of course, you're going to want your art glitter glue, and then we'll add some pretty elements in there, but most of this will come from this collection. And the cardstock that I use, you can use scraps of cardstock. This was solid from the collection, but I did use cardstock for my photo mats. So it's not made out of cardstock, it's made out of the patterned paper. So this is going to be a little different. It's going to be fun. So grab your tools and join me, and you can use any paper collection that you want to use. So the first thing I need you to do is grab your trimmer and pick 2 papers, 2 12 by 12 papers from your collection. I've already picked one and cut it, and take the second one. What you're going to do is look at your direction of your pattern paper. Now this one, this is the top here like this. So you're going to cut this so that you have 2 6-inch pieces with the direction going side to side like that, so that when you fold it up, the pattern looks correct on this busier pattern side. Then you're going to cut these down to 8. Okay, so we've got 4 pieces, which means we use 2 pattern papers that are 4 pieces that are 6 inches tall by 8 inches wide. So this is the one here that I cut this away. Okay, so we've got that. Let's save our scraps here because we'll probably definitely use that in the making of this little journal book, a photo journal. So next on these 4 pieces that we cut, I'm going to move my pattern papers out of the way. I'm going to grab my scoreboard, and we're going to score these all in half. So let me put this way because I'll be doing some more cutting. See if that works to show up. Okay, so you're going to score on your 8-inch side at 4 to make these fold in half. So score at 4 inches on the 8-inch side on all 4. So they're going to fold up just like this. Okay, so do that on all 4. Next, take those pieces that you had left over from earlier. We're going to cut these down to 5. We're not going to cut all of them right now. We're just going to start out with a certain number. So we want them 5 inches long, And we're going to cut them down to 3/4 of an inch strips. So you'll eventually cut as many as you need, but for right now, I'm just starting out with what I can cut out of this one piece. So that's 1, 2, 3. These are all 5" by 3/4 inches wide strips. 4, I think I can get 5 of this. Just make sure they're even here. Okay, there we go. So I have just a tiny little sliver left, and you can throw that away. So I have 5 here. This was a short one. I may use that later, so I'm going to lay that aside. Okay, so these are going to be little hinges, and I'm going to score them all at 3/8 of an inch, which is what you need to do to get them scored in half. 3/8 of an inch for little hinges. This is how we're going to put our little book together. That one I got a little off. That's okay. It doesn't matter. They don't have to be exactly perfect. It's what's going to put it all together. So at 3/8 of an inch, and score, and then fold. Just like that. You can use your burnishing tool to score it, or burnish and fold it to get a nice crisp fold on that if you need to. So go ahead and do those. So we're starting out with 5. We'll probably end up needing more than that. So you do have scraps left over that you can use to cut as many hinges as you're going to need. And they're of course done out of the patterned paper. So that's 3/4 of an inch, 5, and then we're going to score on the 3/4 inch side at 3/8 to fold them in half. Okay, so I'm going to move my scoreboard out of the way for right now. Take my burnishing tool, my bone folder, and burnish. Okay, so now we're ready to do some assembly and make some different elements for our book. So you choose one of your pieces that you've already folded that you want to be the front of your book. So I'm going to use this one with this kind of plaid here, and then I have Love is in the Air here on the inside. But we're going to fold this so that our opening is to our left, okay? And then I took some of the cut aparts and I cut out 2 together like this. So these are your 3x4, so you have 2 together, and I'm just going to fold it in half this way. Okay. Then I'm going to take my art glitter glue. Okay. And I'm going to put a line of glue right along the top and bottom edge. This is going to create a pocket. Just like that, along the top and the bottom. Put them together and let them attach, and just burnish if you want to. Now this one I got a little crooked. I'm just going to move it. There we go. That's better. So you really have to reburnish it to make it work out. And if it's off a little bit, it's okay. You can trim that off if you don't like it. So that one, I have it off a little bit here at the top, and I'm just going to snip it right along the edge. So it could have been the way I had it trimmed or folded. So if you don't like that, you just trim a little bit, and that straightens it out. So now this is a little pocket here. Okay, so we're going to take one of our hinges, and I know it's longer than this pocket, but this is going to attach here. So you just have to decide which do you want to see as far as your hinge goes. So I'm reversing this one because I want the dots to be showing. And I am going to fold it, and on one side of this hinge I'm putting glue. And I'm going to line it up so that the fold of the hinge is along the fold of the back side of my little page set here. And it does not have to be centered perfectly. Just along that fold line like that, burnish that down. Then I'm going to take my little pocket. I want to make sure the fold of this little pocket attaches to the edge here of my hinge. So I'm just going to put a line of glue on the fold edge on the front side, just like that. And I'm going to put it on the hinge. Now you can center it or put it at the bottom so the fold goes along the hinge. Burnish that down. And so now we have a little pocket attached to this page right here. Okay. Now here on the back side, we're going to have to put another hinge, and that's why I made these more narrow. I mean, if you wanted it a little more narrow, you could trim it down. But this one's going to attach right here. And I'm going to reverse it back the other way because I want to see the dots. Okay, so this is going to put glue on one side. I'll try to do this slow enough so that you can understand me. So I have glue on this one half of the hinge. I want to place the hinge on top of the other hinge. Make it even. Burnish it down. The fold of the hinge needs to go along the fold edge of this page and the pocket. So now we have it hinged here. And now we're going to fold the hinge back, burnish that. And we're going to take our next page set and we're going to put glue along this hinge here and take the fold of our booklet and make sure your design is not upside down. You're going to line up this page to that page right on that hinge. Okay, burnish, make sure they're even. Open that up. I'll burnish in here so I can get into it. And there's my hinge right there. And I'm going to make sure my glue is wiped off. I'm going to hold this up and burnish. So we have two sets together like that. So we have page, we have a page, we open it up. We have our little pocket here. It opens up like this. It's a little hard to see with it folded in, but there we go. We've got a pocket. Make sure it's not stuck. Okay, now we have a page, and page. So we're ready to add some more. So on this next one, I have a 4x6 that goes horizontal here. So it has the love and the airplane. And I am going to fold this in half. And burnish that. So this is going to be, it's not going to be a pocket. It's going to be a little flip in here where you can flip it open and see the inside. So it's going to be done the same way. We're going to use a hinge. So I'm going to reverse these dots. Maybe not. I think I'm going to use the other side because then there'd be a different pattern there. But just make sure the direction's going the way you want it to. So put glue on one side of your hinge. Line up the fold of the hinge, and you can center that if you want to the fold of the book. Make sure it goes all the way to the edge. Oops. There we go. And burnish. Now this hinge was a little bit off center, but it's going to work out just fine. So we fold this, and we're going to put glue on the edge, the fold edge of our booklet, the front side of it. Make sure the direction's correct. And then we're going to line this up on that hinge. I'm going to burnish that down. Okay, so we have that opens up like that. Fold this all back. Burnish it really well. We're going to take another hinge. And again, I'm going to make it with the pattern showing out. I think, let me see here. Yep, I didn't need to reverse it. So you can just, you know, fold them either way that you want, but I'm going to do it like this. So I've got this pattern here, like the letters. And so this is another one where you're going to put glue on the one side of your hinge. Line it up to the other hinge, right along the fold. So the fold of the hinge and the fold of the book, or the previous hinge, line them up. They're just stacked on top of each other, and burnish that really well. Fold the hinge back. Take our next book set, which will be another one of these plaid ones. Make sure your direction's correct. You don't want it upside down. Put glue on your hinge. Now the neat thing about this, I'm using only 4 page sets. You could add more if you wanted it thicker. So line it up, make sure it's lined up, and burnish. Open it up carefully. Burnish inside. I'm going to go ahead and make sure this is opened up so I can see and wipe off any glue. So I'll hold this part up over here and burnish. Okay, just like that. So now we have that page set on. And our book is coming together. Simple, quick, and easy. Add the other one on. Okay, so I forgot. So for the next section, or the final section, I've taken a 4x6 cut apart with this adorable young lady. And I did trim it down on the right side and the top and the bottom to make it into a close to 3 3/4 wide by 5 3/4, because I didn't want it the full size of this. So I wanted you to be able to see the difference that it's added in. Okay, so we're going to take a hinge and we're going to put one on the front. So I'm going to take my glue, put it on the back side of the hinge, put the fold of the hinge to the left edge of the cut apart on the front side here, and just center it. Make sure the fold goes all the way to the edge of the cut apart. So I'm going to scoot it up a little bit. There we go. Burnish that down. Oh, I have it upside down. You know what? It doesn't matter. That one's upside. Well, maybe I can pull it up real quick. Let's do that. If I have to make a new hinge, I will. So let's put the glue. So pay attention to the directions, even of your hinges, if that matters to you, because I want it to be like this. So this is going to be okay. Just line it up. Burnish it so you see where I pulled it up. But this paper, this exclusive paper, pattern paper by Country Craft Creations, it can take a beating. I mean, it messes it up a little bit, but that's where we're going to hide it anyway. So now we put glue on this side. And I'm going to take the right side of my booklet that's already here and line this up. So it's not going to be exactly the height. It's going to have a little bit left, about 1/8 of an inch top and bottom. And we're going to line this up right here like that. See? And close this up. And then we need another hinge. So I need to cut one more hinge out of this. So let's make it 5 inch by 3 1/4. So you can cut your hinges as you need them. So we actually need to start, what did I have, 5 at first, and we need really 6 to put this all together. But that's okay. I can quickly cut one, and we score it at 3/8. Put it in half, thereabouts. And then we're going to fold and burnish that. I mean, you can even fold these without using your scoreboard if you wanted to. Fold it in half and burnish. Put the other way. So that I'm looking at the direction here. So, oops, I'm going to flip the other way. Okay. Now then, this is going to attach here on the back side of this cut apart. what we're going to use to put the other page together on it. So line it up best you can, center it if you want, put the fold of the hinge along the fold of the whole book, put them together, and then we're going to attach that to this one. So I'll put glue here, and we're going to put this here and line it all up, fold of the page along the fold of the booklet and the hinges, and we burnish. Okay, so there's that put together. So for the inside of the book, this will be the front. For the inside of the book, I took this cut apart, Love is in the Air, and I trimmed it down just a little bit so it would fit in the page. So, oops. Trimmed it down to about 3 5/8 by about 5 5/8. So it fits in with the page here. It's not going to stick over the top or the bottom. And I'm going to make it so it flips this away. So I made a hinge that's the height of the cut apart, 3/4 inches, folded it in half. So I'm going to put it here on this edge. So I'm going to put glue on the front side of the hinge. So the fold of the hinge goes to the left side of the cut apart on the back. So just line it up, burnish it down. If it needs trimmed anywhere at the bottom of the top, you'll do that. So I'm going to look at it and see just a smidge right here. Okay, so now we have this with this hinge. And then we're going to put glue on the back side of the hinge. And then you're going to take your booklet and you're going to attach this flap to the left edge of the book on the inside front cover. So just center it top to bottom. I'm going to burnish that right there. And that pulls that in like that. So there we have a flap that folds in like this. Now on this side, I took a piece. This one is cut from the scraps. It's 3 1/2 by 3 1/4. You can trim it down any size you want to. And I'm going to make a pocket out of this one. And I think I'm going to, for this project, I'm going to use the envelope punch board. So I want my pocket here. What did I say this was? 3 1/2. So half mark would be 3 1/2, or 3 would be 1 1/2, and another quarter. So at 1 3/4 on punch, so it gives me that little notch. And then I'm going to put glue, a line of glue. So that's cute too, but it's too busy. I want the dots. So a line of glue on the 2 sides, on each side of where the notch is, and across the bottom opposite from the notch. So just a line of glue to create this flat pocket in here. And then I'm going to just center it up a little bit from the edge here. Just kind of center it and burnish that. So now we have a little pocket in here with a tuck spot. Okay, and then we have a flap here that opens up. So that's really cute. And then on the next side, we'll add some more details. So for this next page, when we flip it over, I've got a cut apart here, or a tag. I'll make a tuck spot with this. So some glue on the back side, on the right of the back, and then along the bottom. And we're just going to attach it here to the to the left and the bottom of the page. It's got this little bird. Balance is Valentine. Okay, like that. We have this flips up, and then here I'm going to put this one I cut, I think that's 3 by 5, 3 1/2, 3 1/2 by 5. I'm putting it right here. That's that on there, and then I'll probably put a photo mat or something there, but I wanted the kind of bubble look, the blue. So that's cut from a 12 by 12 sheet. I'm just going to attach it right here. kind of center it, top and bottom, in from the edge. Okay, so there's that one for now. Be adding some more. So we open up, we got this page here. For this page, I trimmed down the scrap to 3 by 3 and at 1.5 notched the top. So I'm going to glue that just on the bottom, the two sides, make a little flat pocket. I'm going to put that right here on this page. Of course, we'll add more elements to it. Here on this other page, I'm going to look at my cut aparts, my tags. I want something long up here, so I think I like this one up here, so I'm going to cut this one out. Let's see, cut this out right here. Now, if you have a brother scan and cut, you could cut your tags out with that. I like to fussy cut, so for me, it's just as quick to just take my scissors and quickly cut out the ones I want. And you do whatever is easiest for you. I do know that the vintage tag designs, after the first of the year, I believe, with Country Craft Creations, you will get a set that are already die cut out for you. So this is going to go right up here. And it probably needs to be matted on something. So let's see what we got in the My Colors that I could use. This is pink. Kind of make it stand out some. So this is Sweetie Pie in the pink. So I'm going to glue this on here. Here in the corner. Glue that down. And then cut it out. Okay. Then fussy cut around it, leaving a margin of the pink showing. Okay, and then that, of course, makes it a little more stable, more stronger. So I'll put the glue just at the top on the edge. So that's going to be a tuck spot here at the top for a mat to slide under that. And then I also want to put a smaller one here at the bottom. So let's see what we got. Let's do, you know what, from this sheet. This is your cover sheet. Oh, not that one. These smaller ones on your cover sheet. So you could use them as a little tuck spot, and it has black around it, so I'm just going to fussy cut one of these. I'll show you. Cut around the black a little bit. So I'm just leaving a little bit of the black showing, and then I'm just going to glue that down here at the bottom, just on the bottom edge. Show you real quick here. Right there. And I'm going to take that same pink and cut me a mat. Let's do 4 inches. is out of my colors. Straighten this out here on the bottom where I cut it out with my scissors. 4 inches by, see, about 5. That's going to fit in there good. Okay, let's try 5. So that's going to go right in there underneath. And let's do something with the corners. I'm going to do a scallop on the corners. Scallop punch. This is going to be a photo mat, so that's just going to slide right under there and be held onto the page with those cut aparts. Just like that. Okay, so there's that page, and we'll make a tag for over here with something. I might even use a piece of this. So cut this down. Let's cut it down to 2 inches. Tag, and that will slide right in there. And then I have a tag punch that I will use. I'm going to scallop punch the 2 bottom corners. I think those look neat like that. And then I'm going to grab my Stampin' Up! Tag punch. So 2 inches is correct. So that slides all the way in, and I just punch that top of that tag, and I have a tag already made, and it's ready for some ribbon and maybe some pattern paper. Of course, we're going to add stuff to that, but that's how you can decorate that page. If you think this one's too wide, you can certainly trim that down. I think maybe I will. Instead of 4, let's make it 3 1/4. And we'll repunch those corners. And we'll stick that in. Okay, so I like that better. That shows a little more of the page around it. All right, so then we'll add some more details in just a little bit. Okay, so on our next little pages, so we have this one where we have the little pocket. I made a tag that goes in this pocket. We have the mat here. So flip this to the next one. This is the one that has the cut apart that is a flap like this. And I noticed when I went to plan this page that the ones that I had to glue down were glued them down wrong. That's because I should have made this hinge the size of the flap. So I just cut here and then glued that down. So this has got a repair here, but you can't really see it with this pattern paper. So the hinge does not extend beyond the little flap. So just, if you've done it the way I did, just trim it off here, lay it down, and glue it down onto the hinge on the page. So apologize for that. So the next thing I'm going to do is make a little belly band. So I'm looking for my scissors. There they are. So from the cut aparts, there's this border strip that I like. So I'm cutting it down in the height, cutting off some of the border. And this is going to fit right in here. So I want to look at it, and I do want it to go over the hinge. So I've got that heart, and I'm going to trim down just a little bit on one end to make it fit. You can measure with your ruler and use your trimmer if you wanted to. So I think that's going to work like that. So a belly band, we just take a little bit of glue and we put some on each end. And I did leave my glue uncapped for a while too long yesterday. So let's see if we can get that open back up. Okay, right there on just both ends. I'm going to lay this here in the center. sure it's even here on the outer edge, and just burnish. Okay, so there we have a little belly band. And then from the cut aparts, I cut this little tag like that. Now I can put that on the top. That's cute that way also, where you can actually see it. So I think I'm going to do that. So just right in the center of this cut apart, I'm going to put some glue. And then I'm going to glue it so you can see 2 hearts on each side of the belly band, like that. And burnish that. So that's cute that way. I like that. Okay, so now we need to figure out what we want to put behind our belly band. I'll need a little more glue here at the top because it's going to catch. I just didn't do it at first because I didn't want to get it on the page. So I'm just lifting it up carefully and making sure I have glue all the way down on that little piece, so that whatever I stick behind here, so like we have this cut apart, could be one that you might want to put back there. Cut off a little bit more of the red here. See, that could go slide back there, and then we might make a photo mat out of something. So this is kind of cute. I'm going to take just my scallop punch and do the corners. So you can make photo mats out of scraps of your paper. So like this one is about 3 1/4 by 3. It's just one I had left laying here. So this can tuck in back there as well. So you can just layer it up like that. And then we have this flap here. We can put something here. Let's see what else we've got as far as cut aparts. That would look cute. I like Our Love is Magic. That's kind of cute with the heart balloons. Cut that one out. So just fussy cut around it, or like I said, if you use your scan and cut to cut all your tags, you can certainly do that. So I'm not perfect at cutting it out, but I don't worry about it too terribly much. If I get it too narrow on one section, I just kind of try to balance it out. Okay, so that looks good. So see, we can put that right there. Or if we want to bring it down and make it a tuck spot, we can. So I'm just going to kind of put a little bit of glue just on the bottom edge. And attach it right here on the bottom, kind of. And let it be a little tuck spot where I may add a small tag of some sort. Let me see here, we'll cut this one out. I'll make this one into a tag. That's kind of cute. So a little bit more fussy cutting here. It's hard to believe that it's already getting towards the end of January, and that it will soon be February and then Valentine's. So if you're looking for a quick project to make for Valentine's, this might be the trick for you. You can add some photos in it. It's kind of like a hybrid journal card. It could be a card with lots of pages, little mini album. It's just something that's a lot of fun to work with. So then we have this cute airplane in the middle, and then we have this spot over here. And I think, excuse me, I'm going to put just a photo mat there. So I'm going to cut, let's see, 2 1/4 inch. I don't know if that was too wide. Let's see here. 2 1/4 inch. Let's check it out. Yeah, that works in about maybe 3 1/4. Let's see how that looks. Okay, so that's going to work right there. Let's punch that as well with the scallop. And I'm using the smooth. You can use the texture side, but I've been using the smooth, and I'm just going to glue that down. Now I'm going to come back through after everything's in and use maybe some enamel dots or glitter dots or different things to kind of decorate stuff up a little bit. So we got that. Okay. That photo mat there. Now on this side, I think I'm going to put a bigger photo mat, and I may use a different color of my colors. Let's see if we have one that's a little brighter pink, or do I want the red? There's that pink. I think I may go with red. So let me grab, I have a stacking tray here that holds 12 by 12 papers on the side of my work table, and that's where I like to put my colors so that I have them handy. I don't have all of them. There are so many my colors. So this one is Daredevil red. And so I'm going to make a photo mat that's about 3 1/4 wide by 4 1/4 tall. So let's cut 3 1/4 so that it'll fit there. 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. I need to order a new blade. So that's going to fit right there. So I'm going to do those corners the same. Make sure I've got my scallop one picked out. And that's going to just glue right there. Okay. Okay, so there's that page. So let's take a look. We have the front cover here with nothing on it yet. We open that up. We have the Love is in the Air that flips out. I haven't added anything in here yet. We have a pocket where I did add a tag. I need to add all the decorating and ribbons and things. Probably a cut apart here. Then we have this little tuck spot here. We have, which would make a good spot for a tuck spot with this. So let's cut this down. Well, we're thinking of it. It's going to be, let's see what 3 inches wide. 3 inch by about 3.5. So that's going to tuck in there. Just tuck it in. I may open this up just a little more here. Okay. Let's scallop our corners. And tuck that in. So we have that photo mat tucked in there. Then we have this little flip up pocket. So I need to make something that will go in this pocket here. We have this little piece of pink here. This is a scrap, 4 3/4 by 2 1/4. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to fold it in half like that. See how that looks. Where's my bone folder? I'm always losing my bone. There it is. Bone folder. I'm going to burnish that real quick. So that's going to tuck in there like that. Oh, it gets lost in there. So that doesn't work. Let's find something else to stick in there. For now, let's see, Be My Valentine, that one, at the airplane. Let's do Be My Valentine, see how that looks. So it's just all a matter of playing. I'm going to save that little piece. I'll probably find a tuck spot to put that in just a bit. And I'll put some cut apart tags on it to decorate it up, or a piece of scrap of paper. I haven't cut into a lot of the 12 by 12 papers yet, you'll notice. And that's good because that leaves you lots of papers for other Valentine projects, or Valentine cards you might need to make. Also, you might want to use this collection on the earlier project, Valentine project I did, which is a card file box and some Valentines that fit in it. So you might want to check that out. It's on my YouTube channel. Of course, it is also for Country Craft Creations. So now this will stick in there like that. Well, that one's too short too. That's a deep pocket, but you can see it sticking out. So I'm going to leave it in there because you can pull it out. And later I may add a tag, you know, a punch on it and a string or bow ribbon. So I'm going to leave that for now. So I have this red one here. So that goes in like that. And I'm going to trim it down just a little bit to about, let's go 3.5, 3.25. 3.25 matte. So that would go in there, and then I'll punch the corners if it fits right. So that sticks out good. That's perfect. So scallop the corners. And that just sticks in there behind that little tag, and it can stick out like that. So we know to pull that out. So there's that page. Got a mat there. And then we open this. We have another pocket. Need to decorate it up with this section here, this larger photo mat, and then the one belly band we just did, and this little tag and pocket and the mat. So now we're on our next page. I don't know which one to count it as. So let's see what we're going to do with that one. So for this page, we're going to make a wide belly band, the height of the page. So this is going to be 3 inches wide, and I picked out this paper with the stamps and the postage marks. So that's 3 inches wide, and then we're going to trim that down to 6. Just turn it and cut it down to 6. This is going to be a large flat belly band, and it's going to glue right here. Line of glue top and bottom on this left side. So just make sure you leave about 3/4 of an inch here on the edge when we attach it down. So glue, I'm using the white side. So on this back side, put glue on the top and the bottom. Okay. And then we're just going to about 3/4 of an inch from the edge, just glue it onto the page, just making sure it's straight. Okay. Top and bottom. So now we have a belly band that goes all the way through, and then we're going to add some flaps onto that. Okay, so let me look at our cut aparts and see what we need for that. From this piece of paper that I had already used before, I cut this out to a 4x6 size. So I wanted this balloon heart on the right side and the clouds. So this is 4x6, the size of a cut apart. And then we're going to fold it in half. Okay, or you can use your scoreboard. Now I want this to tuck in here and be free so that it can be pulled out. So to try to make it lay down a little flatter, I am just going to put this in the scoreboard, and of course the center fold is at 3 where we were folding it, and then I'm going to do a score line at 2 3/4 here on the front and lightly fold it. Then I'm going to keep my fold at the 3. So what this does is it helps to make that extra fold there on the front. It helps to make it lay down a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and do the scallop punch just on the outer corners. So once you have that extra little line, it doesn't have to be folded, just have it in there. And then when you slide this in, it helps usually to hold it down flatter. This is not doing it that well. So bend it a little bit. So I just bend it a little bit and then pull it back. And so that does help to lay it down flatter. Now I want another one to go the opposite way, like this. So I have this Be My Valentine. I'm going to trim this one down. I have a little bit of border on it I don't want. And I'm going to fold it so that I can see Be My Valentine. So the little stamp part is what's going to go behind it. So I'm just going to burnish this down. And then maybe do another little score line. Fold. Then I'm going to use the one that shows me the Be My Valentine like that. And I am not going to punch it. I'm going to leave it solid. And so I tuck that in on the opposite side of the belly band. So now we have a flap that lifts like this, and then we have this like that. And so that's a lot of fun when you do it that way. Okay. So I'm just looking at my original book to see what else we could do. Now here on the inside, if you want to add some decorating like a border strip or something, let's see what we have left on our border. So I took the remaining part of this border that I had left, cut it down to 6 inches tall, and I'm going to glue this like a small belly band right in here. And you choose which direction you want the little hearts to go. So I'm going to put glue just on the top edge and the bottom edge. And I'm going to glue it down right about here over that pattern. Oops, and make sure it attaches down. So now I have a little belly band. And that little booklet that I made that I didn't use, I'm going to tuck it in right under there. And so let's decorate that up. So this is that little booklet that was, what, 4 3/4 by about 2 1/4, and then I fold it in half, and I'm going to punch the corners with the scallop. And then I'm going to see what paper I might want to put on there. I like the little blue, the blue color for the front. So that's going to make this, once it's folded, it's 2 1/4 wide. So we want 2 1/8 by 2 1/4, 2 1/8 by 2 1/8 square. 2 1/8. Turn it, cut it 2 1/8 again. Okay, and then we see how it fits on there, and then we're going to punch one set of corners, and we're going to glue that right there on the top, make this little booklet. So you can see how, if you just have scraps left, that you could make this little project real easy with just scraps. So this tucks in here. Okay. Oops, under the wrong one. Okay, so now let's see what we want to put on this front here. I love these little envelopes here, so on this strip, I'm going to cut out 2 of them. One says love you, and then one's just a little plain one. So I'm going to put 2. I'm going to stagger them like that. Okay. So put this one down first. This is from the border strip. Kind of at an angle, and then the next one goes down. So we have like a little mini Valentine booklet. And you could put little photos inside there if you wanted to. So now this is going to go under there. Now, if you like it, you can put this like this so that it's attached to that belly band. Then you could put a photo mat under there as well. So let's cut one out of red. Let's just keep adding. So this is going to be about a 3 inch. by 4. Scallop the corners. Slide that under there. That should fit. And just like that. So there it is. It's all hidden underneath there. A lot of little goodies under there. And then this side here, we can do a I'm just looking to see what I might want to do on that one. So hang on just a second. Okay, so I did a little bit of planning off camera. So we have this one this way. Then I grabbed this scrap, which was 4 inches by, looks like 3. And so I scored it at turn it this way, might be easier. Scored it at 1.5 and then 1 7/8. Not 1 5/8, sorry. Because I have an 1/8 of an inch fold here on the top. And this one is going to go right in here as another flap. Okay. Now I decided I'm going to go ahead and scallop punch the 2 corners on the bigger section. And instead of, see, I was going to stick it down. So instead of having it freeform, I'm going to put glue. Pay attention to what you're doing. Glue on the back side of the small flap that's going to go in. And then carefully lift this up so that it attaches down on the page and becomes fixed inside there, just like this. Make sure my fold lines are where I want them. Okay, so now it is stuck down here underneath my belly band. Okay, and then this one is a free flowing one. This is free. This goes like this. Now this one just flaps over that way. And then I cut a piece of paper to fit on there. That this one is, I like this one with the stamp. So it's 2 5/8 by 2 7/8. And I'm just going to scallop punch the 2 left corners where it's going to go right here. Okay, so I'm going to glue that on top. I didn't cut one for the inside, so I haven't decided yet on that. So just going to go right here. So you could just leave the inside regular cardstock if we wanted to, like this, for a photo, which I think I'll do. So we'll leave that. Then on this side here, I cut a mat that is 3.5 by 5 out of my colors red, and I'm going to just glue this mat straight down on the page. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at the one that I did before and following along loosely with what I did before and kind of making the same elements and flaps, changing it up a little bit to fit with what I have. Then I cut this piece of from the border, the letters, and it's 4 by the height of the border, and that's going to be a belly band over this photo mat, so you can slide and mat a photo in under there. So you just put glue on each end, and I'm going to attach this down right here and kind of get it, make sure I'm straight. Whoops, that's not straight. Okay, there we go. Now then I cut a 3 by 4 cut apart, and that's just going to slide right in there. So lots of different layers. And if that looks like it's going to slide down, then we're going to grab our cut aparts And we're going to make a little stopper there, a little tuck spot with, I think this one says love. So let's cut that out right quick. And that's what's great about all these tags, that you can use these elements. And if you wanted to make them thicker, you could put them on several layers of cardstock to make them more like a chipboard type. So we're just going to cut all the way around. There we go. And then this is just going to glue right down here on the bottom, just on the bottom edge, to hold that piece 3x4 card from falling out the bottom. So just like that. And you see when you tuck it in, it's going to hold it there. So there's that layout there. And we're ready to move on to the next one over here. Okay, so before we move on to the next page, I'm going to show you how to make a swing tab, because I'm going to put one here. I've decided I need one, and then I'm going to use it in an element on this page. So I've taken 2 of the little envelopes from the border strip. So I cut out 2. I'm just straightening this one up a little bit here. Okay. And I have 2 tiny little brads and some of my cardstock. Here's a scrap that'll work. So let's do this one first. I'm going to glue this on to the cardstock because I want it to be a little thicker, a little stronger to make a swing tab. So I'm just going to glue it over a little bit so I can leave a little bit of a red border around it. Okay, so just trim here on the end, and I'm going to trim on both sides. So we have a little envelope here that's going to sit here and be a swing tab for this. So now I'm going to take my little crocodile, the smallest hole, and I'm going to punch a little hole right here on the left side with the brad. Okay, just like that. Then we have to get the hole into this piece, and because it's free form, we can do that. I'm going to take it out, and I'm just going to punch a hole right there. And then I'm going to take this little piece here in the brad, and I'm going to stick it in that hole, and then we're going to open this up. Now then, we have to cover it on this back side. So open your prongs up and press it down really good. So there's our little envelope attached. So here on the inside, we're going to have to cover this. And I don't want those prongs quite as long as they are, because it could stick into my fold here. So I'm just going to clip that metal off just a little bit on both prongs. Just make it a little shorter. You can do that with your Tim Holtz scissors if you have those. Okay, so that's that away. Now then, open this up, and I'm going to glue in a red photo mat. I'm just going to cut this down to the size, looks like about 2.5 maybe. Let's see. Does that work? Yeah. 2.5 by 3.5 scrap scallop punch, just like I've been doing on all of it. So that's going to glue down over that prongs there. I should have made it maybe just a little wider, or you could even put a pocket in there. Why don't we do that? Let's just put, because this could slide in and out, and we could put a little pocket there. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, I'm just going to make it fit. I'm going to hold it in there along the fold, hold it here, take my scissors, turn this over and trim it off. Then I'm going to glue it down all the way to the bottom, and then I'll punch that again with the scallop. So the glue goes on the two pieces, two ends, and across the bottom. I'm going to glue this over where the prong is. Here on the inside of my little pocket thing. And if it sticks out here, then I just trim it off where I can see it, like that. And then I'm going to scallop punch again. Okay, so there's the pocket in there, covering up the brad, and then I can insert that mat in there. So this is going to go back underneath that large belly band, just like that. And then when we bring this in, we swing this little envelope out and we swing it over, and it's going to make a little swing tab hanging and holding that down. Now, I can make it a little heavier if I put more cardstock on it. I think that's going to work fine. So that's a swing tab. So you move it completely out of the way to bring this up and then close it down. So this is a little bit different because it is on a piece that will slide completely out. So this other one's going to be made differently here on this piece here. So let's make one more swing tab and then we'll have it ready. Same thing, we're just going to glue this on. Glue on the back of the little envelope. And then we're going to trim it off. Scissors. End up with tools everywhere on my table. And then we punch the little hole on the left side. Depends on which direction you want to attach it, but both of these are going to be on the left side. So for now, I'm going to open my prong so I don't lose the brad. So there's that one ready to go. So for this next element, pick out a piece of the paper from the collection that you want 3 inches tall by 12 inches wide. So pay attention to your direction on that. I then chose a little cut apart that I fussy cut out. You need another piece of paper from a scrap or whatever you want to cut it out of that is 4.5 by the 3 inches, and then you need one. And this I cut from, because I didn't want to cut into a big piece of paper, but I wanted this pattern. I cut it from this on your cover sheet, on the branding sheet. So this is 1 inch by 1 inch by, I've got it 3.5, but it should be 3. Yeah, 1 inch by 3 is what we actually want. So I just need to recut that. I had to cut that one down, I guess. Okay, so 1 inch by 3. That's going to make a little hinge. And of course, we have the little swing tab we already made. So let's grab our scoreboard, scoring tool. Take this 12-inch piece, 12 inch at the top. And I want you to score at 3, 6, and 9. So that should give us a booklet that is 3 by 3 once it's all folded up. That, so I'll probably refold it some as we're working on it. Then take your 1 inch by 3 inch piece, and we're going to just score that in half at a 1/2 inch for a hinge. And then this one, put your bigger piece in at the top, your 4.5, and we're going to score at 3. Okay. So there's all our pieces that we need to put this together. So let's work on this first. We have one piece that's going to be down, so this folds to the left and burnish. The next one folds here, and somehow I must have cut my piece of paper a little crooked, so I'm just going to straighten it out if I can. If not, I'm going to look at it here, and I've got it crooked on this side here for some reason, so I must not have cut it right at 3. Let me line this up and double check on my line here. Should have been at 3. Yeah, it's off. So we recut that, straighten all that out. So we have the piece that goes down. So that leaves us a plaid here on the top. Okay, just like that. Now we're going to take our hinge piece, and it's going to attach. And I want the color, the pattern side, because it's white on this side. So the right side of your hinge is going to attach to the left edge of your fold out piece. So you put glue on the back side of this. And line up the hinge fold line right along the edge. So I turn it over so that I can see it, of the hinge. So now we have a hinge on it. We still have our 3-inch space, but we have a little hinge. And then that is where we're going to attach our swing tab. So take your hole punch and your small hole and punch, come eyeball it in the center of the outer hinge. So we have the hinge that folds like that, so we have a hole in the center of the outer one. You put your prongs through, opening them up, and I'm going to stick the little prongs through that hole. Here, and then fasten them down. Open them up and fasten them down really well. Oops. There we go. So there is our little swing tab on that. Just double checking and making sure I've done that correct. Okay, so now on our page here, the hinge part that has the brad is what's going to glue down. So just glue on this back piece of the hinge that has our brad. And I'm going to center that right here along the edge. And I'm going to burnish that down, swing this out, burnish that down. So now when this folds up, like that, okay, rough edge right here. I'm going to clean that off. Okay, so the swing comes around and holds there, but yes, this still pops up, right? That's where this piece comes in. So I'm going to take this one. I'm going to go ahead and, let's see here, scallop punch the, double checking. Now the short piece, the short fold like this. Now this is going to go under here, and it's going to make like an envelope for this. And then that is what's going to take a paper clip. So I'm just making sure it all fits within here. I need to trim it down just a smidge. I don't want it sticking out. So this is going to attach down in here. So glue on this whole back piece. this up. I'm going to open this up, lift this up, line this up so that it's even with this one here on the left. Press it down, then fold this one back in, and then this is going to fold over it. And if you have to, reburnish a little bit. So there's our swing piece here. And then we have this here that's going to have a paper clip on it. So I'm going to get that, and that will hold it down, and we'll add a little trim onto that paper clip. Okay, so I have a piece, I have a pink, large pink paper clip and a piece of red seam binding ribbon, and I'm just going to tie the ribbon through the end of the paper clip. So you want it on the end where the short end is. So you want the longer one down here. So just tie a good knot, and then I'm just going to trim them off at an angle. And then I take this, and then I'm going to paper clip this all down like that. Okay, so there's our envelope, swing tab, this paper clip holding here, just like that. Now this little piece here, I took it and right here on this end, just fold it, as, you know, as straight as you can. Kind of get a little, making a little hinge. And then that I'm just going to glue in right here on this side, on this right side. So the glue is just going on this little hinge flap I made, and it's going to glue on the hinge of this right page, or this flip here, like that. So let that dry, just burnish that down. So it kind of just sits there, but if you want, you can flip it up. Straighten it up. There it goes. And so it hangs over there. Now we're going to add something in onto this. Okay, so from the branding sheet, I cut out this little tag with stamps and postage marks on it. And I'm just going to fussy cut around it. And we're going to glue this right on the back of this right here. Just kind of decorate that up. Kind of center that. Okay. So then when it flows down, it can go that away. Same image. Sure it's straight there, and then flips back, and you have that smaller image there. Then you have the girl, and then we flip this back. And then over here, we're going to add more elements in here. So let me gather all that together that I want, and we'll get that done. For this next page, I cut out a piece from the plaid that is 3.5 by 5, and I'm going to glue that down onto this page, just a little bit overlapping the hinge. Take my glue. It's kind of like a patterned photo mat, and I did not scallop it. I'm going to leave it square. So I'm going to line it up right here, about 1/4 inch from the edge, right edge. This is the photo mat that I made. I'm not gluing it down. It is 3.25 by 4. Scallop punch the corners. Then I have this little piece that's 3.5 by 1.5. And I'm going to put it like a little flat pocket. So I'm just going to put glue on the ends and across the bottom. And I'm going to attach it down here, lining it up. And then this is going to tuck down in it like that. And then I fussy cut out one of the pattern papers, these stamps. And I'm just going to start layering them over this here. I just wanted a little different look. Whoops. Put this one here. Now I want one, once I get done, it's going to stick up over the top maybe. Just a little bit. Let's put this one here. Let's try this one like this. Okay, so just put glue on part of it on the bottom edge. Leave the top part without any glue. So it sticks up over that. Put this one down here. And then I'm going to look and see if I have some more that I want to maybe add in. I like that Hugs and Kisses, so I do want to cover that up. Put that like that. I have a little envelope here, stick down on the bottom. So this was all cut out of scrap of paper that I had. So here we have a, like that. So that looks like probably plenty. Postmark, it says Valentine's Day. Oops, I'm going to turn it so the heart goes the right direction. No. Okay, so that's kind of cute that way, and this comes in and out, just like that. So there's that. So we have one less double page spread in here to do some things with, so we'll get started on that. So for this left side, I'm going to make a pocket, so I chose these hearts on this paper. And these are cut down to about 4 inches wide, just a little under 4 inches wide by 3.5 tall. And I punched the notch in the middle. So this is going to be a flat pocket right here. So put glue on the 2 insides and across the bottom. And we're just going to glue that right here on the bottom of the left side. I made it a little smaller than 4 inches so it doesn't hang out. So just press that down right there like that. To go inside this pocket, I've got a photo mat out of the pink that is 3 by 4. Scallop the corners, so that's going to tuck in there. And then I have a 2-inch tag made with the tag punch here. That is 2 inches by 5. And scalp the bottoms and do the tag punch there. So that's going to tuck in there because I'll be adding ribbon. So here for this page, I have a piece of this paper. I wanted this image here. So this is, I cut it at 9.5 by 5.5 to get the full image, okay? And then put the 9.5 in the scoreboard, scored at 3, 6, and 9. 3, 6, and 9. So this gives me a 1/2 inch hinge here, and then it folds up this way. And when I folded it, then I scalp punch the 2 outer corners, not this one. So it's like that. Now if I wanted to, I could stub punch these. So let's go ahead and do that. Not the hinge one, but the other fold scallop, not stub. So that will make it more uniform looking. So you can punch right through the folds. So you have that, like that. Okay? Now, this is going to attach to this page right in here. But before we do that, we're going to make a little closure piece. So instead of a closure piece like I did in the original one, this one has a magnetic wraparound piece. This is a shorter fold out, but you can take 2 pieces of cardstock or pattern paper and magnets and make you a closure piece like that with a magnet. But I'm going to just use the seam binding ribbon in the red. So I've tied a piece around it. It's a little long. I'll trim it down and wrap it around. Now I attach it down with score tape just on the hinge part. So I'm going to pull that backing off. And I'm going to take my glue and put glue on just the hinge right over that ribbon. Okay, now that is what's going to attach down, is the hinge. So I'm going to put it, I'm going to center this top to bottom. I'm going to bring it over about 1/4 inch from the right side. 1/4 inch from the top and the bottom, and I'm going to burnish that hinge down. I'm going to untie this for now. So you see how this comes out and this away. So we have this section here, and of course we can add a mat here. Cut a 3 inch and see how that works. A little mat, some of it will show, and that's fine. 3 inch by 4. Scallop punch the edges. And I'm going to stretch the ribbon down. And I'm going to glue that in. Okay. What that's going to do is hold that ribbon down. So burnish that down. That closes down right there. This brings it over, and now I'll tie it. So I may have cut these too short. We'll see. Hopefully not. Make sure that dries right there. It's a little short, but it'll work. I pulled that one because I don't want the bows too big anyway. So yeah, that works. So there's that little closure there. So now I'm ready to finish the outside, and then of course add details on the inside. So I just need to decide what I want to do on the outside and get all that pulled together and show you what to do. Okay, so now we're ready to put something on the front of our cover of our album. But the first thing we're going to do is add our ribbon closures. So I have here over 1 yard of the ribbon because I like to have plenty to make sure. So I'm kind of splitting it in half, and I'm going to wrap it around completely. Now make sure your book is the right direction. So you want this on the left because we don't have our spine on yet. And I'm going to go ahead and tie this so that it's in place. So we want it flat like this. So we're going to tie it right here. So you see I have plenty of ribbon, but I like to make sure I'm not shorting myself when I do this. So I'm going to cut off just a little bit here. Save that for tags or something. But anyway, we've got this on. So I am going to take some score tape, and I'm going to center this on the back and the front here. Make sure we're kind of centered. And I'm just going to put some tape over it right here on the front. So I'm going to cover that up and put a bit of it here on the back. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to put on the back, but that will be covered up. So that's securing it for now. Okay, so now we're going to take this blue piece that I cut, and it is 3.5 by 4.5, and that's going to fit kind of right like that. So this can come off the backing, and take the glue. So I'm going to kind of tilt this a little bit on the front. I don't want it perfect. Now I'm going to put my spine cover on. Okay, so I cut it out of the plaid, and it is 6 inches long by 1.5, and it's going to fit right on the edge. Now we don't glue the back of it, so we're going to curve it around like that. Now then, to secure this, I'm going to put a little more tape, score tape, on my ribbon right there where that's going to wrap around, because I just think it might make it a little secure to make it stay straight. Okay, so we got that right there because it's holding on this front side already. Okay, so now we're going to glue the front one on first. So I put glue about 1/2 inch or so on the back side on just one edge. Put a good amount of glue because I can see where the curve is. And on the front, I'm going to place this, line it up top and bottom, get it on straight so that about 3/4 of an inch to an inch is on the front, and that will put the equal amount on the back. Okay, so no glue goes in this curved part. Now on the back, I'm going to take the tape backing off where the ribbon is, and again I'm going to put it at about 3/4 to an inch of glue on the edge here. And then we bring this down, we have the score tape, and we're going to just loosely fit that around and make sure it is lined up on both ends here. Okay, so burnish that. So that is our little spine cover right there. So now we're ready to go ahead and finish decorating this. So I cut this 3x4 out. I just love where it says, got the little mail card, love letter express, and the balloons and the hearts. And I'm going to angle that right there. Whoops. I'm going to kind of leave it open here on this left side some, because I want to put some lace, I think. So I'm going to angle it like that. So it's still going to be a little loose here on the side, on this left side. So I cut a piece of heart-looking lace that I had in my stash, and that's what's going to fit right underneath. Now I don't care whether it's even or sticking off the back of the spine, that's fine. So you can use your fabric glue or your art glitter glue, and I'm just going to use some art glitter glue here. I'm going to lift this up and I'm going to place it here. So it's at an angle, so a little bit of these tips are sticking off, and that's fine. Now I'll go back and put glue under the piece here to really get it stuck down good. And over the lace here. Okay, so then burnish that down. You really have to rub it where the lace is at. Okay, if you wanted to use some score tape, you could, but I just keep pressing it down and it will grab. So that's real pretty like that. Now I had this little piece of hearts that I was thinking about putting on here somewhere, but I haven't decided yet. It's going to, so I'm going to overlap it some. So let me see how it looks. Yeah, I think I am, but you know what? I'm going to use score tape on that because that will help hold that down. So on the back, I'm taking 1/4 inch score tape and I'm going to put it on the back of this little scrap of paper that I have for the little hearts. It's about 1/4 inch wide by 6 inches. So I'm going to pull this backing off. Okay, and then this is going to fit right along where that seam of my joint of the spine would be, over the lace and over this image some, and then I burnish it down. Okay, it's just kind of a layered look like that. Then I have some little felt hearts. I think I like the red ones. So I was going to put a few of those on. If I want a pink one or not. Kind of maybe overlap it like that. It's kind of cute. I think I have a white one. Let me grab a white one. A red, pink, and a white might work. Okay, these are just some things that I had in my stash. So I'm going to take the backing off, and then I'll also use glue with these. They're really sticky, but I want to make sure they don't come loose. So I'll put some glue in with that. And I'm just going to stick this one down here. And then I'm going to overlap with a pink one. Right there, and then I think I'll put a white one. You could punch out hearts out of the cardstock too if you wanted to. I just had these already from a couple of years ago, so I thought I would go ahead and use these from my stash. So there's like that. I love how that's starting to look. A little Valentine album. Now we need to decide on the back to put something here on the back piece to cover the ribbon. So I have this scrap laying here, and it is 2.5 by 5 5/8, and it just fits pretty good right there. I'm just going to use that because I like the layered look. Take this tape backing off, and we'll put glue on this. So what I'm going to do next is go through, add ribbons to my tags, maybe some flat enamel dots or things like that into the album. I'll do that off camera and share with you once I'm done with that. So I like that, the way that looks. And there's the finished. And so I can trim these guys off here. Not for now, because it might get a little thicker in there, but I like how that turned out. And then you can also put some of your tags on the bottoms of your ribbon, and I'm thinking these hearts might be cute on that, so let me grab a couple. So I grabbed two pinks and 2 whites. So I'm just going to cut this straight across instead of at an angle. And then we're going to put a pink one on and then a white one on the back. So let's sandwich that in there. That, turn it over. Might put a drop of glue on there just in case. Take a white one. I think the pink and the white shows up better than just the red with the red ribbon. Oops. Okay. Now, carefully line it up. They may not be perfect matchups, but pretty close. And if not, I'm just going to trim where it's sticking out. It is felt, and so that works just fine. Okay, so there's that one on there one. Let's get this other one on. Okay, maybe a little better on that one. Okay, so there's those. So there's the front with the little ties on the side. So I'm going to go ahead and on the inside finish up adding some details, and then we'll be finished with this tutorial. I'll be back to show you what all I've done. Here it is, my finished little book, all decorated up. I decided to call it a photo journal book because you can journal in it and you can add photos too. So this, of course, is the front with the felt hearts at the bottom, the lace, bits of the paper, some of the cut apart, and some enamel dots with the closure and felt hearts on the end. Finished it off on the back with just some of the patterned paper. So you untie it to open it. And it is made out of the patterned paper, no cardstock except for the my colors for the photo mats. So here on the inside, I added a strip from the branding sheet that comes with it. This is a cut apart that I've put on with a hinge. Added a photo mat here and a photo mat booklet here. So I'm leaving them blank. I did use the scallop punch throughout the book. Added a felt heart here and this cut apart tag. Decorated the tag with some ribbon, some of the flat back enamel dots, and another piece of that stitching strip from the title page. Photo mat here, another felt heart, more dots. I glued this one down here, and we just slide this in the pocket. You can put loose photos in this little pocket if you wanted to. Another photo mat. Also on your photo mats is a good place to do your journaling if you wanted to. Make sure I'm staying in frame. Here's a pocket, large felt heart, some more dots, enamel dots. I added, trimmed down some of that lace and made the little tag, lacy string closure here on the tag. Enamel dots on this one. I added a paper clip with the some seam binding ribbon that you can order from Country Craft Creations, another large felt heart. And remember, if you don't have felt hearts, you can punch hearts up with dies or with your die cut machine. More enamel dots here. Mat here. I added some of that lace here on the side. Left it loose here so you can put your photo underneath. Just added a felt heart here. All this stayed the same as in the tutorial. This opens up and this flips open. This will come out. We have a tag here, a photo mat here. So that just tucks under there like that. And then we have this flipping up, and we have other areas here that flip out. This one completely goes under like that, and then we got the tag here. So a lot of details here on this large belly band. So it all closes up like this, and then this little swing tag holds it together, just like that. Then we have a belly band here with a tuck spot, some more of the enamel dots, large paper clip here, swing tab goes out, and this opens up after you take your paper clip off. This folds back, this comes out so you can add photos like that. Fold it back down, clip it together, and swing this around for it. This is just a little flap in here. Flip this over, you can add a photo here. Here's your photo mat in this. I added a large pink felt heart there. Ribbon here for this tag. That slides in. Some more of that stitching strip. Some more flat back enamel dots. And this, of course, unties here. And this all folds out like this. Photo mat. Lots of areas here for photos. And you just tie this part again with the ribbon. So I'm just going to tie it up real quick. So this has been a lot of fun to create. It's quick and easy. Like I said, no cardstock except for the My Colors cardstock. I used a sheet of the pink and a sheet of red. So you can make this and one collection of the 12 by 12 Love is in the Air exclusive Country Craft Creations paper collection. So I want to thank you so much for following along with this tutorial. Be sure to like so that others will see it in search, and click subscribe if you haven't already. Click on the bell to be notified of my next video that I upload. And as always, check out countrycraftcreations.com for your crafting supplies. Again, thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.